Go live. And go to chat box. And go to YouTube. Wait, let's do that too. And go to that channel. Yeah, live, 2 people watching. All right, thank you guys. Man, I didn't even notice that. Now I do. Give me a second. I've got to get that off so I don't have to hear it. Hello, Hayden. Hayden Watkins. Interesting name. I think I have my, now I got to, I might have to shut this down and restart it because it's showing my Twitch instead of my other channel. Platform, YouTube, there we are. Where at? Nope, nope. Come on. YouTube, there it is. Yay. I agree. I agree. There we are. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Allow. Da 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 da. I've done this before. I don't know why it's not saying it's there now. So, okay.
Hayden Watkins said, "What are you gonna make?"
What would you like to see me make? Hello, Athena. Nice to see you're there too. I'm sort of up for suggestions at this point. All you got to do is come up with an idea. And
Geiger said, "Good evening, sir." Dr_virulent epidemic said,
make a Scottish Terrier. Oh, please. Not a... I can do a dog. I don't think I could do a Scottish Terrier justice. I can make it look a little like it. I can do that little... no, I can do well, I'll see what I can come up with. But it's not going to look pretty. I'm not... my dogs... That's the thing about dog lovers. It's got to look exactly like their dog. And if it doesn't look like exactly like their dog, then they're not happy. A cat lover, all you got to do is make it look like a cat. And they're happy. Here's a couple of things I just did on Twitch. It's a little while ago. I did a frog. And yes, I still have to put it through the oven. And it's got some dichro in there. Look at that nice gleamy shine.
Said Doberman.
Yeah, I can do a Doberman. I can show you one of those real quick, and I can do another one real quick. Do a smaller one. And I did this dolphin with the green exotic for the main body, and the blue is moon blue probably. And then I did a unicorn head pendant, which turned out really, really nice. Some of the stuff that I've been doing. And also another thing I did on Twitch last night, which is pretty cool. I'm excited about it. I did this little number. Somebody said, do a jackalope. And I said, how many points? And they said, at least 4. And I said, okay, I can do that. And I ended up putting 6 on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 6-pointed buck jackalope. So yay. Now, you want me to do a Doberman. And this is what my Doberman will sort of look like. Which is the best I can do on short notice. I can do a Doberman, a Dachshund, and a puppy type dog. And the puppy you can make long-eared, short-eared, flat, floppy ears, long nose, short nose. In other words, you make it into the type of dog that you would like. And it doesn't have to look exactly like that type of breed, as it were. Ooh, yes. My chocolate attack. Not a major one. Okay. Doberman, let's do it. Light up a How is everybody tonight? I'm glad that everybody's showing up. I was just over on Twitch and only had 2 people show up. So,
cat's eye marble.
A cat's eye marble. Well, I can do an eye marble, if that'll help. Cat's eye, yeah. It would be interesting to try. Got a little bit of contamination going on here. I got to pinch that off and throw it away. But yeah, I was just over on Twitch. Did like an hour plus show over there. And only 2 people showed up. Who knew, right? I already got 3 people watching now, which is great. Should have been here first. I know. But I'm trying to build up a... oh, we don't want to use that. Good reason why I don't want to use that. That is... You can't see it on this light. Maybe you can. But that is Lucy. You can see that sort of reddish color coming off of that. I was making short ones longer, and I also did some Illuminati that was really thin and short, which is right here. Okay. Doberman coming up. This is going to be the main part of the body, and it's going to be smaller than the one that I just did a little while ago. Well, that was a couple of days ago, but we'll do it anyway. How have you been, Athena? You're up there towards Vegas, aren't you? Or Nevada, anyway. A little bit of a contamination going on there. Pinch that off. Bill Geiger. Where are you from? I'm over here on the North Carolina coast, right where Florence came through. Still picking up a little bit here and there. Cut down a tree in my yard the other day from the debris. Now I've got a lot to burn in my burn barrel, believe me. Okay, for the Doberman, I make the neck pointy and sharp. And then we're going to do the main part of the body comes off of that. And it's sort of a...
Geiger. Said. Colorado.
Cool.
Bob Geiger. Said. Southwest corner.
Okay. Somebody's got to be from there. Now the ears, basically you sort of tuft them a little bit and then point them. Of course, if they're cropped, and most people like their Doberman's cropped ears. And since I don't have to physically harm the dog doing this, since I made it, I'm creating it the way I want it to be. There we go. You can see the ears going, huh? And his nose has that little bit of a point upwards. Probably a little bit longer than it needs to be. Let's give it... There we go. Yep. Now the legs.
No. Said. Hey Luke, can you do the hole repair in a tube or a bulb?
Can I do hole repair on a tube or a bulb? Sure, I'll give it a try. Where it's blown out from a spot and you want it to blow, you want to seal it back up in that spot? I guess I can do that. It takes a little bit of finesse, and it also helps to have a little bit of, do a little bit of thin cane. But let me finish this guy real quick. I've got about another 2 to 3 minutes on this guy, and he'll be done, and then we can get right into doing something like that. I'll be glad to try to explain it to you. It is kind of complicated, and it's like somebody coming up to you and asking you, how do you hop on one leg? You know you can do it, but explaining it's a different story entirely. That's why I like to show you from this perspective right over my torch and I've got new cameras coming hopefully in a little while that'll work out better than what I've
Bub
got.
Tiger said, spider.
Okay, I can do a spider as well. I got an idea for a spider that I wanted to try out.
Said, just ran across the desk.
Oh, a spider ran across my desk. Oh, well, that's okay. He's not going to bite me. I think he's more interested in all my little flies that sort of fly, commit hara-kiri as they come into my flame. It's like, skia! Kamikaze flies. Happens all the time here. It's getting gravity to work for you when you're working a piece, dangling it down or upwards or whatever you have to do to get the accent to sort of shape it in the right direction that you want it to go. Matter of fact, I'm going to give it just a little bit more of a back hunch going on. Not a lot, one, just a little. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah, the dog lovers, it has to look exactly like their dog. A pug, a bulldog, a chihuahua. I think I can do those pretty good too. But at least the puppies. Again, I can make it the way they like it, which I like. Here we go. Bringing it forward, backward, and then letting it go upward. Actually, it's not a spider, it's a beetle. I think it's a stink bug beetle, but it's a smaller one. It's only May here. This is the fun part, making sure all four legs are the same distance. And there's one way that you can do that, or at least so that it won't wobble, is you heat up, for a smaller one, you can heat up all four legs and press it down evenly, but for something this size, you heat up the back legs and press down, and that usually brings them both equal. There we go. I think that'll work. Oh, one last thing. The waggly tail, but it's a little stubby waggly tail. Oh, you know what I forgot also? The eyes. And it's big enough that I can get away with it. There's one eye. It's making sure it's across from the other eye. That's the fun part. And there we go. One Doberman. Pull off at the cool.
Said, chameleon.
Chameleon? Huh. Walk like a chameleon. No, that's walk like an Egyptian. Never mind. Tells you I'm in good shape tonight, huh? No. I might be able. I can probably get a good picture up, and I might give it some. But first, I had a request to do a blowout or fix a blowout on something. But like I said, first thing you need to really do is have some of these on hand, which are some nice thin canes or stringers of clear or whatever color you're going to be making the piece, just in case. Okay, I'm going to do this in clear.
Teresa Hamilton said, ha ha ha.
Now, let that happen. Well, tweezers, pull that off. I'm going to do one more just in case. These strands come in handy no matter what anyway, so for support sometimes and some other stuff. But I'll do a little blowout on a piece of tubing. It's not going to be very big. And seal up the tubing, knit it back together. Takes a little finesse, but it's doable. You just gotta, don't get over frustrated with it. Okay. Let's see. We got this one. Can I use this? I'll give it a try. I actually still have the blow hose sitting around my neck. That's cool. From when I was over on Twitch. Sealing the hose around the outside edge of this thing is the fun part. Okay. Warming it in because this was stressed out already, heated up and melted a few times. And it still might explode on me, but...
Bob Geiger said, I just started to work with glass about a year ago, and I've learned a lifetime of information from your vids.
Thank you.
I haven't gotten a nice mixed gas torch, only use propane. I still work code 33.
Well, you got to start somewhere. In my first year of doing glass blowing, I think I spent the first 8 months doing nothing but soft glass or whatever piece of glass that I could get my hands on. I even, I drive by where there was a street lamp dome above that had broken and fallen into the street. Said, I'll try that. Actually, it is a higher, almost a borosilicate type glass because it melted at a lower rate, higher rate than the rest of it. And it was a very white, clear glass to melt. It was pretty interesting. But most of the time, beer bottles, soda bottles, milk of magnesia bottles, whatever bottles I could get my hands on, I played with. You might want to consider getting one of these things, which is a blow hose and swivel. So that as you're turning the tubing, it swivels on that and snugs up so that you can blow from a distance instead of heating a little bit and blowing, heating a little bit and blowing. This is how you can learn to do this way. Even with propane blowtorch. And I did a couple of deals where I tried to make tubing to start out with. But if you have some COE 33, not 33, 93 or 103 or whatever, you can play with it that way. Get a couple pieces of tubing and add to it, and it will blow well. Okay, we got a piece of tubing going on here. And then all of a sudden you're going along, and you make one side thicker than the other. And it blows out by accident. It's like, oh man. Right. Here we go. What you do is you heat up around the edges. I'm going to do this with a single flame. Heat up around the edges and try to pull it together. And you can see there I just sort of knitted it all back together. Now I'm going to do that again. Actually, I'm going to make it nice and round again as well. One of the things you need to work out or try to watch out while you're doing that blowing is making sure that the wall thickness is even. And that's a hard thing sometimes, but you can look at the side wall and see where it's thin and thick. And another trick that you can get while you're doing that to make it even is, now you'll start with a nice hot piece of glass and take it out and start blowing. And there might be a spot that's a little thinner than the rest. But you leave that out a little bit longer and then blow. And that should have thickened up and solidified more, and the thicker spots will now blow a little easier. The longer you keep it out, the thicker glass you got is where, here I'm going to blow this all out here. Really big and mean. And I'm going to seal it back up. But again, all I do is sort of knit it back and forth. You can tweezer it a little bit too if you wanted to, but I usually use, like I say, a stringer, and a thicker stringer at that, and that seals it right back up. And then you puff it in and out, and you can tell whether there's a hole there still. And then the idea again, you got to make sure that you blow it out evenly. The thicker part is still thick. There will be some distortion where you played with it, but it will be solid, hollow. I mean, it will be hollow again, that you can blow and work with it if you had to. And that's my story for that, guys. I hope that helped you out. It's always working and playing together. Working your hands together is what I meant. You can see that both hands are working together to do the job. And I usually call what's in the right hand the pencil, and what's in the left hand the pencil. I mean the paper. It's dyslexia happening here. I add to the pencil. I add the pencil to the paper. In other words, I try to heat up what's in my right hand and melt it to the piece that's in the left hand. Like here, I'll draw here. L O V E. And again, I was heating up mainly the rod that I was adding to it, but you got to make sure that you're not overdoing it and melting the tubing that you're putting it to or whatever. Let's do it again. L O V E. Writing lettering on there is pretty fun. You really just got to get used to it and practice, and more practice. And don't be surprised that you do something and you end up half your lettering fall off because you didn't melt it in there correctly. And if you use different colored glass, it'll do it a whole lot easier. Smiley faces, the whole 9 yards. And then you just take it and let me see if I can find what I'm looking for really, really quick. Whistling's not going to happen. Make it happen. Here we go. Yep, this will work. And now you add a little bit of silver fuming to it. There we go. Silver fuming is some fun stuff to learn. And if you do it right, it can really change for pennies. For pennies worth of silver, you can change a piece of glass into something that is shinier, and you can add more money to it. All you have to do is say it's fumed with silver, and they go, "Woo, I gotta have it. Yeah, pretty." Now, let's try a chameleon. We're going to set that down, let that cool. And here's the Doberman I did just a little while ago. Get it up here a little closer. I'm bench cooling at the moment, but I will put all this stuff in the oven and let it come up to a temp and let it cool down as well. And you can see where I added the legs, that it does it. You can't, it looks like it came from the same piece of glass. That's what you're after. You're trying to not make it look like it stuck to that piece of glass, but that piece of glass came out of the same, just like the neck. You see that it's sealed in there really, really well, and that's very, very important to make sure you do the good welds, the good seals. It's very, very important, guys. Now, chameleon. First, I have to get a picture of a chameleon to go by. Wouldn't hurt. Any other questions? Let me see here. Internet. Pictures. Oh, wait. It's still coming in line. Oh, that's right. Sorry. We got to do this. I got to change out where the internet's coming from. Hold it. Do this for me, will you? There we go. Connections. Oh, it's
Silver Eagle Glass Art.
Hello, Silver Eagle.
Hello, Lou.
Long time no see. It's nice to see you out there. Give me a second. This thing is not cooperating. Oh, I got a better one. Let's do it to another one that's a little bit closer. Another connection. Connect it to that one. There we go. And it's connected. That ought to do her. Get back. And
Bob
now...
Blair said, my biggest lesson learned is if I think I have it hot enough, heat it more.
Yes. Yes. It is very, very important to make sure that to not stress it out, but to do that. I'm still having trouble getting to the chameleon deal. I have no idea why. There we go. A chameleon.
Glass Art said, good job on the Doberman.
Here we go. We're getting there. Pictures of a chameleon coming up, guys. Images. Let's go from there.
B. Collins.
Okay, there we go. We'll do a whole one there.
I keep making the dichro more silver looking BS the color it started as. What am I doing wrong, LOL?
Yeah, you can turn it to ash. That's because you're overheating the dichro. That's why I usually like to try to put a color behind the dichro so that you guys can, so it can have even more of a buffer zone. The more glass that you put that in the middle of, in other words, that dichro shine in the middle of, the more it will do its job for you and shine and look sparkly, glittery, and look pretty, and people like it. But this chameleon, I'm going to do one real quick, and that's going to be the fun part. I should have done the chameleon on the, but every time I look at this thing, I'm going to have to, there we go. I'm not going to do this justice, but I'm going to give it a good try. Why not?
Teresa Hamilton.
I've got this color here going.
That's okay if you don't want to.
No, that's what I'm here for. I love the challenge, and it's challenging me as well. It's not like, and I also want to show you that if it does come out, it's a good thing. And if even if it comes,
give that a try.
If it's a bad thing, I want you to I want to show you that yes, you can even make mistakes, but if you really want to do something, you just got to keep concentrating on it and look at where the shapes that you need to work on and make the shape the figurine that you're looking to be. And this chameleon is going to be this blue, which will work out really, really well for it. We're going to need another clear rod going on. Smaller punte. There we go. Oops. There we go. There we go. We're going to make this about the middle there. It's looking like a chameleon already. Look at all those colors that thing turned already. Just because it's saying, hey, I want to be blue, but I don't know what blue I want to be. I haven't done too many chameleons, I'll have to admit. And that's the part I like. You're challenging me and helping me in the long run. Believe me, it's not a, and again, I want to show you that if it turns out okay, great. If it doesn't turn out, Oh, well, I tried, right? Right, right, right. Here we go. That's about the body shape. Well, now we're going to go for the head.
Teresa Hamilton said, I'm new to this and watch you.
Thank you, Teresa. Uh, all I can tell you to do is just keep looking and keep practicing and learn what I call the alphabet of shapes in your mind, because it's not what I can do, it's what you got to learn how to do. That's the most important thing. But yes, I've been doing this since 1982, and I go to craft shows and I do the exact same thing that I'm doing now. It's saying, what would you like to see me make? An elephant, a cat, a mouse, a swan, a bear, a whale, a snail. And that gives them the opportunity to choose something, and for me to make it. And I also tell them that if they do not like it, they do not have to buy it. And that does two things. That gets me better at what I'm doing, you know, really quick, I guess you could say, so that I get better results. And also, um, it gives participation to your audience or your crowd that's dealing with you. That's what I like, and I've always enjoyed the audience, and it's a feel like no other. It's like hard to explain. It's an adrenaline rush in a lot of ways. Also, guys, for those that aren't familiar, that I'm also trying to get myself known on Twitch, which is the Twitch TV, which is another video live streaming feed, and they do a lot more solid. I mean, not solid, but more streaming. In other words, hour after hour type of streaming going on, and I try to do it there as well, but it's just a little bit different here. And I also have built a bigger crowd here, or a bigger audience.
B. Collins said,
3,000 plus subscribers. Yes, please do that. Thank you. I'm the type of person that forgets to say, hey, subscribe, like, enjoy. This is still, took me a long while even to somebody asked me to do the conch shell, the whelk shell, and it took me forever to finally get it. But once I did, I was really, really pleased with myself with the results. And that's the way you got to be. You got to be patient, and if you want something to happen,
said, ring that bell.
Ring my bell, ring my... Never mind. I won't quit my glass blowing job, I promise.
Teresa Hamilton said, do you have to pay for Twitch?
No, you do not have to pay for Twitch. And there's a few videos that I do over there that I wouldn't do over here.
It's free.
But I also am deciding really quick here. I've asked a couple of times, but I still want your vote on this, guys. Is that I'm thinking about, and I haven't up to this point done any tobacco pipes on this channel at all. I mean, I've done some tubing, I've done some figurines, I've done opals, I've done a whole bunch of stuff, but I have never really, and I even tried to do another video channel just for the tobacco pipes, but I never really got comfortable doing it there. I don't know. But if you think I should try and do like figurine tobacco pipes and stuff like that here, and you don't think you'll be that offended, I am thinking about making that transition here as well, so that you guys can see that part of my glass blowing lifestyle, I guess you can say.
B. Collins said, that's what I make the most. B. Collins said, please do videos here.
Okay, I've got to make him a little thinner. What do you think? I'm getting there. Just got to do him a little thinner and put a little bit more fan on his head, and we're getting there, I think. Do they ever show any side views of these guys? Oh, there we go. I can see a front view. That's what I'm looking for.
Silver Eagle Glass Art said, just do it, Lou.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I haven't up to this point, and I don't know why. I guess I'm trying not to make people upset with me because I have that public.
Collins said, gnarly. Teresa Hamilton said, I agree.
Let's see here. I got to pinch this a little bit thinner because they look like they're basically hungry all the time, or the ones that I was just doing here. So that's the hard part, having to change back and forth to that same picture, but we'll get there. Tweezers! We're getting there.
Teresa Hamilton said, oh yes, looking great.
Walk like a chameleon. I know. Walk like an Egyptian. I know. But hey, it's my channel. You get your own channel, you can sing whatever you want. But just know that I'm not a big, mean guy. Okay. Let's put a dot on his eye, one in sort of going forward. That's the thing I like about these eyes, is that they can be way, way off, because that's the way they are in real life. One's going sideways, one's looking right backwards somewhere else. See, that's the thing. You got to try to be comfortable with your own glass and try to not fight the glass. That's the hard part, you guys. You just can't fight the glass. The glass will always win. But once you get going and you feel comfortable with what you're doing, the glass will flow for you. And yes, it takes longer for some than others. But if you're patient, that's where persistence pays off. Is that
being offended by something is a choice. If someone chooses to be offended, that's on them.
Yeah, I know. But I try not to offend. And you can, I mean, gee whiz, when have you ever heard me actually say any colorful metaphors, as it were? I don't even use those in my work. Oh, let's do that tail a lot longer than that. Come on now. Can they curl their tail in the other direction? Does anybody know? I was going to try to curl it. Yeah, let's do it anyway. Let him complain about it. It's all in the flow of the glass, guys. You just got to heat it up right at the right spots and let it curl in the right spots.
Silver Eagle Glass Art
Got to do the back toes.
I hear you. Teresa Hamilton said, no.
They don't curl it that way? Be that way. I guess I can curl it downward. Well, be that way. Thanks for telling me. I'm not a chameleon expert. No, it's not easy reconditioning and changing a direction of what you already had going on, but it can be done. Here's what I'm going to do. This will be fun too, and it'll work. Watch this. Cold seal there, and just heat and corkscrew it. Easy. Gently. There we go. I'm done.
Teresa Hamilton said, sorry, yes, to use them for hanging.
Don't do that to me. It's doing it, but it's doing it okay. Corkscrew. Downward. And I got to do the back 2 toes, and I'm going to call this quits, guys. Anybody interested in them, give me a call, and
B. Collins
we'll deal with that.
said, statues asterisk.
Statues asterisk? What? Statues. Yeah. Do the Statue of Liberty. Oh, that's one thing I can do. I think I can get that. You've got to give me a little bit of patience, guys, but we're going to put together something tonight that it has been a long time in coming, and that I'm really excited about, and I've been trying to get these to the workable condition where they can work, and I haven't yet, but tonight on this show, with all these wonderful people showing or watching.
Looks good. Teresa Hamilton said, but it's fine, sorry.
We're going to, he's just walking around. Yeah, it's not the best chameleon in the world, I'll admit that. But for somebody who didn't know what he was doing 5 minutes ago. Now, let me go inside my house real quick.
Like that?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of them. What, that blue color? You can make rods like that. You got to just try.
B. Collins said, email me a quote on half pound.
Actually, you can do it better for yourself. I haven't even thought about that. Give me a second. I need to go into my house for just a quick second. And actually, before I go in, I'm going to do one more quick thing. And then I will do this debut, and it's going to be cool. You'll like it.
Teresa Hamilton said, you're awesome.
Okay, no, not let's use that. We're going to use, where is it? 9 mil, happy wall. This will do. This is better to get this done now instead of using it while it's still hot. This will help with the transition. I need to make this first before I show off the other things that I'm going to do really quick here. Flare it out. Keep flaring. We're getting there. About another 2 or 3 of these flare outs. Keep going. Little bit more. And you'll see what I'm doing in just a little while. This is gonna work no matter what, but it's better to get it ahead of time. I didn't have one handy, so I had to make one, as it were. Now I'll narrow this down to about right there. Cattywampus, but it'll do. Now what am I looking for? There it is. Score that off. Of course I didn't score it right. Got it that time. There we go. Fire polish that. Probably broke more than I wanted it to, but it'll do the job. Now, give me just a second, guys. Got to go to my house and get something out, and then we will work with this. Hold on. Be patient. Less than 3 minutes. I'll be back. Less than 3 minutes. I'm back. Told you less than 3 minutes. Okay. You guys should be really excited. This is something that I haven't done or shown off in a very long time. First, I got to see if I can get this ready to go. There they are. I don't. It might cooperate. Let's try this like this. Little bit by little bit. I usually use a thread, but I didn't have one handy, so we're going to have to try to do this the hard way. And stuff it! You'll see what I'm doing in a minute, guys. What I've got here in my hand, let me show you. I was doing it off camera, but what I got here in my hand is, this is a hand to a wizard, okay? And what's that in there? That's a fiberglass wick, okay? So with me so far. And what I just brought in here is some lamp oil. Are we excited yet? Now I might have to take a little bit of this out of here. And I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll try it the way it is and see if it stays. I'm going to have to cut this about right, let me see, down to the bottom of the reservoir. This is a wizard. Now, the funnel comes into place that I did just a little while ago.
Zanon Hamish said, I like where this is going. Grinning face with big eyes.
Yep. I came up with this idea a long time ago. Yeah, I'd seen some of the oil lamps that you see all over the place. Okay. Now, there's the wick. That's the oil in the oil lamp. I should probably saturate the wick a little bit too. We'll see if we can do that this way. Now, I can make these small enough that would be pretty interesting, and I'm going to put a couple of drops. Spilling it all over myself, but we're going to do this anyway. I could make this small enough to get pretty interesting, down to the size where you could put it on a birthday cake or things like that for you know, the special occasion. You don't have to use oil lamp on the birthday cake. You can just use vegetable oil, so you're not contaminating the cake, as it were. And let us try and see what happens here now. I probably will have to adjust the flame. Oops. Try this again. Light her up. See what we got going on here. It should probably, it's going to take a little bit of, that's what I should do. I'll take that out, and I'm going to adjust the flame this way. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. You just need it. There we go. Yeah, it's all in the matter of adjusting the wick. Okay, now I'm going to put that back into the wizard. Oh, it went out. But that's because I'm moving around. There we go. Oh, the wind. That's what's going on. I got a fan behind me and it's blowing it out. Ain't that a kicker? I guess I got to do this the hard way. Hold on. I'm going to turn off my fan for a little bit. There we go. There we go. We got fire coming out of his hand. I also do and on the other hand, in this little ball here, and I don't know if it's going to show up or not, is Illuminati. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. With this light, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take a picture and put this on Instagram ASAP with the Illuminati showing off the crystal ball that's in his other hand, and show that off and see what people think. Okay? Okay. Let's do that right now. Put it on Instagram.
Zanon Hamish said, really cool idea.
Well, like I said, that came to me, I almost want to say 20 plus years ago. Yeah, he's flaming out a whole lot. But, ooh, maybe I can. Yeah, it's going to matter of trimming the wick just right. But that's pretty cool if you ask me. Okay, let's put that on Instagram real quick. Instagram. Add. Oil lamp. Next. Next. This is fun. Yeah, all the things you got to do. Wizard oil lamp. With fire. Oh, let's try that again. Wizard oil lamp. There we did. Shared it. Okay, guys. A lot of people like what I did with my glass rack. If you look on Instagram, I did a thing also. I also did a thing recently where I showed off my rack of glass rods. And I can do that real quick here so you guys can get it. I just recently did this. Oh, man, talk about stifling. Turn off the fan and it's like, can't breathe. Not that bad, but still. Here we go. I'll do that for you real quick. Now, this is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 2-liter bottle crate dealies. This is a full one on the bottom here, and then I added a half. I cut one in half and added the next tier there. And the one behind it, I believe, has 1, 2, 3 on the rack. If you can see that. Well, let me see if I can get it. There, you can see 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 on that rack. And then it goes up to the next tier. And then after that, goes up. I added the other half of the other rack that I put down here up there. So that now you've got access to all your rods at a quick glance without, you're reaching for something and then the cup going ka-chunk over and falling out. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to that too. I also do a dragon where fire comes out of his hand. I do a dolphin where oil lamp, where it's a dolphin coming out of the spout.
Your rods? Love the colors.
A lot of the colors are my own design. I do an encasement, and you can look that up. And I will put connections down below on the. Here we go. Down below, you can catch. I will do green exotic encasement, and actually the only thing I've done different. Matter of fact, I'll do one real quick if I can find some green exotic. Oh, here's some blue exotic that I can encase real quick to give you an idea what you have to do. And it really makes some cool colors and something that you could be proud of that you make yourself. First, I will turn on the torch, of course. Not going to make this very big, but I am going to get it to where you can get. One of the ways you know that it's an exotic glass, like moon blue or blue exotic or green exotic, is you'll heat it up. And when you heat it up, down near the end, you see that the color is oxidized, a different metallic shine going on. And that gives you a hint that that's one of the, what I call the exotic colors. Okay? And with that, this is what you do. Let me, first, I used to not layer it. I just used to layer it onto the clear and then go from there. But I've learned that layering it, you get even more color variation going on. And what I'm doing is I'm sort of heating up just a little bit before that rod is layering on, the clear rod is layering on, and it's oxidizing the color and then encasing that color with the oxidized colors that it's producing, okay? I know that's kind of hard to explain, but you want that metallic oxidizing going on before you put it on there. And even if you have to do this, where you heat up right where you're about to melt it, and then layer it on, that'll work as well. And again, you're trying to heat up the rod that you're adding to that, not the rod that you have. Layer by layer. Okay? Yeah, this takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it in the long run, as you will see. Now, once that's encased, you then take, well, this is like 10 mil rod that I have in my right hand. My left hand, excuse me, dyslexia. And then I'll layer that exotic glass that I just layered there to this. And only go so far down and layer it all the way around. And you saw how thin it was, and it's only about 2 inches long to begin with, that I layered clear glass over and all that. But as you do this, this is doing two things. It's extending your color. The color usually runs $40 to $80 to $100 a pound, depending upon which color you're using. But with this method, especially if it's a solid color, this will stretch that color out so that you can get more money out of your pocket, more money to spend instead of more money to pay out, as it were. Well, we're getting there, and it's going to be close, but I think I got just enough to layer all the way around this little nub left, encased in clear, and there we go. Now, I know this is a tedious method, but here you go. What you do next is now layer clear over that. One more time. And that will get you those swirls of color that you see in the glass that I'm doing. That you see me done with the chameleon and so on and so forth. Okay? Now I'm just layering the clear over that. And then I'm going to twist it. And as I twist it and pull it into a rod, you will see those colors. And the colors that I use are North Star colors. I should have said that somewhere down the line, but I probably didn't. North Star colors. That's where I get most of my, but there are glass supply places all over. One that I get a lot of my supplies from, and I hope that sooner or later they might consider me as a sponsor, or them that sponsor me, is Mountain Glass Art. They're closer to me because they're in Asheville. And they also got one that they're building in Oregon area or Washington. I'm not sure which, but those. But I can order something and it could be here in 2 to 3 days. And they usually have just about anything and everything that I would want. Now, the final step. You twist this up. Got 10 people watching. Thank you, guys. I hadn't been paying attention. I've been so drawn into this, doing this little demo here. I do appreciate it, and I plan on doing a lot more demos. I have been doing a lot more live demos in the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks. And all you got to do is suggest a venue of something that you would like to see done, and I will see about getting it into the mix and make it or explain it. Or there's one more that I'm going to be dealing with my oxygen concentrators and showing off the setup that I have for that. That's going to be probably either the next show or the show after that, guys. So be patient. But yeah, I use most of the time. I have three 10 liters per minute oxygen concentrators that I could turn on and get that pressure coming out of the flame.
Said, thank you.
And the pressure coming out of the flame, but I only usually use most of the time with the size that I deal with is the 10 liter per minute. I did kick on, well, not here, maybe I did it on Twitch. I had two 10 liter per minute concentrators running at one time. I also am going to be having a home fill system set up and running as well, which I'll be able to fill tanks and have higher pressure all the time. But I haven't quite gotten the kinks out of the iron yet, or ironing out the kinks. There we go. Dyslexia. Kicking it in, cooling it off. Let's go with it. And there we are. And the colors that are coming out in it already, you can sort of see it as it starts cooling. There's swirls of blue and green. This is one that I did earlier, the same exact stuff. And you can see the blues and the greens. And this one turned out a little bit more where the clear was around the edges. And if you wanted it to be more solid color, I guess you could go ahead and not do that very, very first step, which is adding the clear over the exotic and then layering it on. Just layering it on clear and then layering clear over that later would be fine. But you get results from it that you are looking for, which is a swirl of colors that you can't get anywhere else and will never be repeated ever. It'll come close, but nothing like what you got. Now my high precision cutting instrument to nip that right off. Yeah, wire cutters work. They work really well also on dichroic that I have here. I'll show you a really quick nip there. And then I'm going to call this show quits for the moment. And again, if you have suggestions, email me, put down in the comments down below. Click like, click subscribe, all that sort of rah-rah. You know, I'm never really the one to tell you to do all that stuff, but I'm glad you guys are out there, and I am getting up in subscriptions. I'm almost to, I'm over 3,700 subscribers at this point and building. So hope to have close to 6,000 before the end of the year. And we will do what we got to do to get there. And I think this is a good venue to try. And you see what I just did? Now what I do is I put the wire cutters in the middle of where I want to nip it. And I put both fingers on one side and the thumb on the other. And just lightly press. And it usually nips it right in half. Sometimes it can crunch and do a bad job, but most of the time it does what it needs to do. Enough said, enough done. I appreciate you guys being out there, like I say. And as always, I say carpe vitro. And I'm here to teach you some glass blowing. That's my latest little niche, I like to say. Yeah, I'm a glass blower. Yeah, that's it. I'm a glass blower. And I'm here to teach you some glass blowing. It's always a little twitches. Oh, here, let me show you this. It's cool enough now. Not bad for somebody who didn't know what he was doing 5 minutes ago. Oh, and this too. Here we go. Nice and cool. Oops. Making letters on that's something to do as well.
Said. Thanks, Lou.
Thank you for being out there. I couldn't do it without you guys. I really couldn't. It's you're more than half the fun. I mean, more than half the fun. I admit making money at this is the fun part. It is a good thing, but I am in it to enjoy the audience and to teach, which is my main goal. If I was in this for the money, I'd have been out of it long ago, because so far I haven't really made, in 3 years, three and a half years, I haven't really made a fortune at it, believe me. So I'm here to help.
Yanni McLean said, can't wait to make my own.
Have fun with it, Yanni. I hope you get well with it. And if you have any problems, again, it's all in the flowing of the glass. You just got to make sure that you're not fighting it and trying to force it. If you're forcing it, it's not going to work for you. Let that glass flow, even if it takes longer. And you got to make sure you're working with a three-dimensional object. So you got to make sure it's heated all the way around, not just on one side. So, thanks, guys. Carpe vitro, and enjoy your